Hello beautiful beloveds, this is Stephanie Parasha, Divine Light, coming to you from New Zealand, Aotearoa. I'm just sitting outside here, so you might hear a few interesting sounds. I live beside a lake and the sun's just going down, so the birds are happily sort of having their last little bit of fun before they settle down for the evening. So I thought this message was best recorded in nature, because part of the information that I've been downloading recently, and one of the messages I wanted to bring through was in order to help us tune in of when we are not quite sure of the energies or what we're meant to be doing, or we sort of go into our heads or get confused or become influenced by others around us, just remembering to come back to nature as I would call it like it's a tuner. So I sort of been given the image of like when you're tuning your guitar and you've got your tuner. So Earth is our tuner. So if you're not sure what vibration or frequency to set yourself to, that is the setting, So the Earth's vibration, the Earth's frequency is our setting in which to reset ourselves back to. So I always encourage and try as much as possible to spend time in nature, to walk, as much as you can with your feet on the earth, and to breathe fresh air and enjoy especially those times of day, like early morning when the sun's just coming up or when the sun's going down. Those are really potent times to be outside. And I'm watching the moon has come up here, and I can see that it's coming up full. So that's going to be the energy that's where we're sort of brewing up to right now. And I've been getting another message that I wanted to bring through, that there's a lot of change. So, things are changing very quickly, and we cannot necessarily be prepared for that in a way of knowing what's next, because often we don't really know sort of how things are going to pan out or what's around the corner. That's why we're often given that really good advice to surrender. And when we surrender to just being in trust and letting go of our fears and just finding ourselves in the present moment, just being able to breathe and tune in and be connected to nature, and trust that as long as we trust and surrender to the divine plan, trusting in that there is, even though we are co-creators, there is still a consciousness far greater and wiser and more amazing and more powerful that we are a part of too, for sure. But we chose to come to this earth experience to feel how it was to be a little sort of insignificant human with all this duality and physical illusion, so-called illusion. But when you're in it, it certainly doesn't feel like that. So right, anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent. What I wanted to really bring through was things are changing. Some of you may have noticed that the synchronicities are increasing, and there's going to be quite a big volume and high frequency of synchronicities coming through. I've had several in the last few days. I know many of us have noticed and become aware of, been getting similar messages around the numbers of the 1717. So it's really interesting when I see other people put up videos around this, and I'm like, they get it too. So there's a whole pile of us that get this number a lot. So that for me, around that 17, the day before, because in New Zealand and other parts that are not American, I think we write our date with the day first, and then the month, and then the year, which kind of makes sense to me. But in America, they turn it around the other way, and they put the month first and then the day. So anyway, either way, it's still 1717. So anyway, the day before that date was coming, I was aware that it was coming, and I had noticed that I'd started to spend a lot more time in dream time, really working through some of the subconscious realms and various scenarios that have been playing out. And I had a significant dream relating to the most recent karmic lesson that I had, and that was around relationships and healing wounding, around abandonment and rejection. And so there was a bit of residue coming up in that dreamtime subconscious realm that was showing me or testing me to see, where was I at with having healed that attachment to that situation. And so, there was a check in there in terms of my energy field and where I was. And then after sort of going through that part of the dream time realm, I moved into another dream sequence, which actually probably would have come into the 1st of July, coming to think of it. So then I had a dream about my twin flame, and I have not had a dream about my twin flame for quite some time. In fact, we have been, whilst we're still connected and we're still friends and we keep in good contact with each other, we haven't seen a lot of each other recently. And so to have him come into my dream time, I hadn't really been thinking about him too much. But the dream was very powerful, and so, when I have those kind of powerful dreams, I'm like, whoa, I better pay attention to that. So the dream was about him telling me he was going away somewhere, and he wanted to give me a hug goodbye. So we began this hug, and then all of a sudden, it was like our lower 3 chakras from the solar plexus, sacral and root chakra, just locked into each other, and energetically we were just completely like magnetized, like this incredible magnet, and we felt this amazing closeness, and it was just like nothing I've ever felt before in the physical plane. And even though it was a dream, it felt very physical at the same time. It was very strong, and we just couldn't sort of let go of each other, but it was okay. We didn't want to, and it wasn't sexual, but it was very energetic. So I woke up the next morning thinking, okay, something's going on. We're getting tuned. I'm getting the message words coming through now for you. Attuned is a big word, so maybe that's why I was getting that information about the tuner and the tuning fork. So I'm actually talking about this as it's coming off my head. I'm getting a bit of a download. So so then I went into the next stage of thinking, back into 3D. I haven't actually heard from him for a while. I wonder, he must be sort of getting close soon if I have had a dream about him. And so I remembered he'd said he was going into his cave time for a while and was going to do some healing work, and that was probably why I hadn't heard from him. Anyway, the very next day, it was the 2nd of July, not the 1st, but however, close enough, he texted me after a gap of about 6 weeks that I hadn't heard from him, and it was quite a long text, checking in, what are you up to, and shall we connect in soon, and very loving. I will say, despite us, we have a funny relationship, I'll have to say, in the 3D. We're friends. We recognise a very strong connection. We both have talked about the fact that when we first met, it was as if we had met a part of ourselves, and it was very uncanny. For me, I was the one that experienced ridiculously phenomenal amounts of synchronicities and signs that were just so ridiculous I had to pay attention to them. It's like, if you're not awake, you need to be, like, this is something. And that's when I started doing, later on, once I processed all of what was happening and realised that I was being, at the time it felt like I was being pushed into the twin flame mission, that, I had to do this, I couldn't get out of it. Yet he's, not fully awake to the point of, I know his soul, and his soul and I are very connected. We talk a lot, but he is yet to have that conscious connection between what his soul is guiding him to do and what he's actually playing out currently in the 3D. And it's funny though, because he will send me texts at like 11:11 or 12:12, and that was happening quite frequently in the early stages of when we first met, and yet he wouldn't see that, but I would, and so things like that. But anyway, so he's connected back in, and then since that I've been told that the message that I should be giving out to twin flames currently is that it's going to be busy. We're going to be getting amped up. We're getting really, a change is going to happen very fast. So if you have signed up for this mission and you have agreed to it and you have surrendered yourself in service to the twin flame mission, and know and believe in your heart that you are a twin flame, regardless of whether you are currently in union or not, whichever stage you're at, it really doesn't matter, because we're all part of this amazing, I'm seeing a pattern, that's coming into my mind. We're part of a big fabric, a big woven pattern that's very important to anchoring in this template. So I hope you're all, very well aware, those of you that are listening and resonate with this message, that, be prepared in a sense of be surrendered to the divine plan. I really believe that the other thing about that dream that I had, it did feel as if when neither of our egos were involved in that connection, when we connected in on our lower 3 chakras, I was very well aware that it wasn't my ego desire that was trying to control the situation. That's been one of my big lessons recently, is letting go of the control, of trying to control the situation. So when we let go of the control from the ego perspective, it allows the divine energies to flow through that are meant to just be here anyway, naturally. So it's like this natural, surrendered state of just ease and grace, and allowing the divine to guide us, to anchor in what it's... Okay. I hope I'm explaining this all right. So I'm going to leave it there, because it's starting to get dark and a bit cold, and I'm just wanting to enjoy the moon and the peace out here. And I hope that you can also find a place to enjoy the peace of nature and just rest in the knowing that everything's being taken care of very well, and you should feel really proud of yourselves to have got this far, and to have done the work that we've done is a huge achievement. And just stay with it, hold the faith. I hope this brings encouragement and hope and peace to you all. And I'll sign out for now, and I hope to talk to you all very, very soon, and sending you heaps of love and heaps of light. Okay, bye for now. Oh yes, sorry, I'm quickly back again. I remembered one more thing that I saw this morning on the way to work, that was a reminder that we're on our mission. So I happened to look down at my odometer reading at a certain time as I was driving to work this morning, and every day I travel about 50 kilometres a day, so I'm not always looking at my odometer. So I happened to look down, and it was 444, and I was like, whoa, okay, yep. That's been a very strong message for me. And then I looked up and I saw a number plate in front of me that I was driving behind the car, and the number plate was better. And I heard alongside that message from that number plate in my psychic ear was, things are just going to get better. And then as soon as I thought that, got that message, and a car drove past me with 555. And so it was telling me that particular 555 was meaning you're going to the 5th dimension. You're in the 5th dimension. That's what all these synchronicities and signs and amazing feelings and upgrades and energies, rifling through our body are all about. So progress, we're moving, we're shifting, it's all going well, we're on task, and keep going. Okay, bye for now.